Disney gave us heroes we wanted to be: princesses, lions, warriors, and adventurers. But they also gave us something quieter, something smaller, something that didn't need a crown or a sword to matter. They gave us sidekicks. For nearly a century, these characters have stood in the shadows while heroes took the light. But without them, every victory would have been a loss. Every journey would have ended in failure. They've sacrificed without recognition, made us laugh through tears, and proved that you don't need to be the main character to change everything. Let's break it all down. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937. Doc, grumpy, dopey, happy, sleepy, sneezy, and bashful weren't just 7 characters. They were 7 distinct personalities that created Disney's first ensemble sidekick team. When Snow White arrived at their cottage, Grumpy wanted nothing to do with her, but her kindness broke through. They gave her shelter, and she gave them family. When the evil queen poisoned her, they couldn't save her with magic or strength. All they could do was stand watch over her glass coffin, refusing to let her go. Disney's first animated feature succeeded because these 7 characters proved that sidekicks could carry emotional weight and drive the story forward. Pinocchio, 1940. Jiminy Cricket was assigned an impossible task: guide a wooden boy who had no idea how the world worked. He warned Pinocchio about con artists and danger, but the boy never listened. Every ignored warning led to worse consequences. Jiminy got frustrated, discouraged, even gave up at one point. But he always came back. When Pinocchio finally sacrificed himself to save Geppetto, Jiminy was there. And when the Blue Fairy made Pinocchio a real boy, Jiminy received a gold badge reading Official Conscience. His song, When You Wish Upon a Star, became Disney's anthem. He proved sidekicks could be the voice of reason in a world full of temptation. Fantasia, 1940. The Sorcerer's Broom wasn't a character with personality. It was a cautionary tale about helpers that can't stop. Mickey enchanted it to do his chores, but the broom followed instructions mindlessly. It fetched water endlessly, flooding the workshop. When Mickey chopped it into pieces, each piece became a new broom, creating an army that made everything worse. Disney showed that even helpful sidekicks can become disasters without proper control. Good intentions without wisdom can be dangerous. Dumbo, 1941. Timothy Q. Mouse became Dumbo's advocate when everyone saw him as a freak. A baby elephant with giant ears? The circus laughed. His mother was caged. Dumbo was alone. Timothy saw potential where others saw failure. He became Dumbo's manager, coach, and friend. The magic feather showed Timothy's understanding of confidence. Dumbo could fly. He just needed to believe it. When Dumbo finally soared without the feather, Timothy was on his hat cheering. He represented the friend who believes in you before you believe in yourself. Bambi, 1942. Thumper the rabbit taught a young prince how to navigate the forest. He helped Bambi walk, taught him to say bird, and shared his mother's wisdom. If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. When Bambi's mother was killed, Thumper stayed close because presence was all he could offer. As they grew older, Thumper showed Bambi that life continues after tragedy. He proved the best childhood friends grow with you and remain constant when everything else falls apart. Cinderella, 1950. Jaq and Gus were Cinderella's only allies in a house full of cruelty. Jaq was brave and quick-thinking. Gus was rounder and more anxious, but completely loyal. They helped Cinderella with chores and made her smile when life was miserable. When she couldn't attend the ball, they gathered scraps and made her a dress while she worked. When Cinderella was locked in the tower, Jaq and Gus stole the key from Lady Tremain's pocket, fought off Lucifer the cat, and freed her just in time. Without them, the story ends in tragedy. With them, hope survives. Alice in Wonderland, 1951. The White Rabbit pulled Alice into Wonderland with his anxiety and urgency. Always late, always panicking, he represented order and chaos. He never really helped Alice. He was too focused on his own problems. But he showed her what happens when fear and obligation control your existence. The Cheshire Cat was his opposite: calm, cryptic, unhelpful. He appeared and disappeared at will, offering riddles instead of directions. "We're all mad here," was his philosophy. He didn't guide Alice so much as challenge her to figure things out herself. Peter Pan, 1953. Tinker Bell didn't speak a word, but her emotions screamed through every scene. Jealous, petty, loyal, and fierce, she was Peter Pan's protector who hated sharing him. She literally tried to have Wendy killed. But when Captain Hook poisoned Peter, Tinker Bell drank it herself to save him. Her light dimmed almost to nothing until children believed in fairies again. Disney created a complex character, beautiful but dangerous, loyal but vindictive. She proved sidekicks could be morally gray. Lady and the Tramp, 1955. Jock the Scottish Terrier and Trusty the Bloodhound were Lady's protectors. When she fell in love with a stray, they were skeptical but supportive. When Tramp was arrested for something he didn't do, they chased the dog catcher's wagon to save him. Trusty was hit but survived, showing that even elderly sidekicks have heroic moments. Sleeping Beauty, 1959. Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather were more than fairy godmothers. They were Aurora's real parents for 16 years. They gave up magic to raise her in secret, living as peasants to keep her safe from Maleficent's curse. Their constant bickering over pink versus blue became legendary. When Aurora pricked her finger, despite everything, their devastation was real. The final battle showed their power. They armed Prince Philip and helped him defeat Maleficent's dragon form. They were the reason the story had a happy ending. 101 Dalmatians, 1961. Pongo and Perdita made the parents the heroes. They led 99 puppies through a blizzard to escape Cruella de Vil. They coordinated with dogs across London, rolled in soot to disguise spots, and outsmarted one of Disney's cruelest villains. The entire film was a rescue mission led by two determined parents who refused to lose a single puppy. The Sword in the Stone, 1963. Archimedes was Merlin's highly educated, highly irritated owl companion. He was smarter than most humans and made sure everyone knew it. While Merlin taught through magic and whimsy, Archimedes taught through facts and logic. When they transformed into animals, Archimedes pointed out the flaws in Merlin's teaching methods. He was cynical and sarcastic, but deeply loyal. He represented wisdom in a film about education and growth. The Jungle Book, 1967. Baloo the bear taught Mowgli that life should be easy and fun. The Bare Necessities wasn't just a song, it was a philosophy. Don't worry, just enjoy what's around you. But Baloo's carefree attitude got Mowgli into danger. When King Louie kidnapped the boy, Baloo had to rescue him. When Shere Khan attacked, Baloo fought a tiger to protect Mowgli, nearly dying in the process. His sacrifice proved that even the most laid-back characters will fight when it matters. The Aristocats, 1970. Scat Cat led a jazz band that brought energy to the Aristocats. He helped O'Malley and Duchess escape from danger. His Everybody Wants to Be a Cat number showcased Disney's musical energy during a transitional period. He proved that sidekicks could be cool, jazzy, and musically talented. Robin Hood, 1973. Little John was Robin Hood's best friend and voice of reason. He kept Robin from getting too reckless. He helped with every heist and stood by his side through imprisonment and triumph. Their friendship was the heart of the film, showing that the best sidekicks are partners, not servants. The Rescuers, 1977. Orville, the albatross, flew Bernard and Bianca to Devil's Bayou, despite being terrified of heights. His nervousness provided comedy, but his willingness to help despite his fear made him memorable. Sometimes the best sidekicks are the ones who show up even when they're scared. The Fox and the Hound, 1981. Big Mama the Owl watched Todd and Copper grow from playful friends into enemies. She knew their friendship couldn't last, that the world wouldn't allow a fox and hound to remain close. Her song Best of Friends was both celebration and warning. When Copper's owner tried to kill Todd, Big Mama helped him escape. She represented wisdom that comes with age, knowing when to speak and when to simply be there. The Black Cauldron, 1985. Gurgi started as a cowardly, food-obsessed creature who annoyed everyone. But when the Black Cauldron demanded a sacrifice, Gurgi jumped in willingly. Gurgi has no friends, he said before giving his life. His resurrection felt earned because his sacrifice was genuine. Disney showed that even the most irritating sidekicks can become heroes. 50 years of sidekicks, and they'd already taught us everything. Loyalty matters more than power. Friendship requires sacrifice. Even the smallest voices can change the story. The Little Mermaid, 1989. Sebastian the Crab was caught between duty and friendship. King Triton assigned him to keep Ariel out of trouble, but she made that impossible. He tried to talk sense into her with Under the Sea, but when she made a deal with Ursula, he was dragged into chaos. When he revealed her secret, guilt destroyed him. Sebastian redeemed himself by orchestrating Kiss the Girl and standing by Ariel during the final battle. Flounder, though terrified of everything, helped Ariel explore shipwrecks because she asked. When she needed someone to believe in her dreams, Flounder was there. Beauty and the Beast, 1991. The enchanted objects were a family desperate to break their curse. Lumiere was charming and optimistic. Cogsworth was anxious and rule-bound. Mrs. Potts was the maternal heart who comforted Belle and advised the Beast. When the mob attacked, they became warriors, pouring hot oil, chopping with axes, defending their home. Their transformation back into humans felt earned because we'd watched them fight for their second chance. Aladdin, 1992. Genie changed everything Disney knew about sidekicks. Robin Williams brought manic energy, improvised constantly, and filled every scene with chaos. But underneath was loneliness, 10,000 years in a lamp, granting wishes for masters who only saw him as a tool. When Aladdin promised freedom, Genie didn't believe him, but Aladdin kept his word, using his final wish to free Genie even though it meant losing his prince status. That moment defined their friendship. Abu the monkey was Aladdin's partner in crime. His greed caused problems, but his loyalty never wavered. When everything fell apart, Abu was still there. The Lion King, 1994. Timon and Pumbaa saved Simba when he was broken and ready to give up. They took him in without questions or judgment. Hakuna Matata became their philosophy. No worries, live in the moment. When Nala found Simba and reminded him of his responsibilities, they didn't hold him back. They were terrified of fighting Scar's hyenas, but went anyway because that's what friends do. When Simba became king, they stayed, proving true friends don't disappear when hard times end. Pocahontas, 1995. Meeko the raccoon and Flit the hummingbird provided comic relief in a serious film. Meeko's obsession with food and Flit's protective nature balanced the heavy themes of colonialism and conflict. They showed that even in dark times, humor and loyalty matter. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, 1996. The three gargoyles, Hugo, Victor, and Laverne, may or may not have been real. They encouraged Quasimodo to attend the Festival of Fools, supported him when he was humiliated, and helped defend the cathedral. Whether imaginary or magical, they were there when Quasimodo needed them most. Hercules, 1997. Phil, the satyr, was a grumpy trainer who'd failed with every previous hero. When Hercules arrived, Phil was skeptical but took him on anyway. He trained him and ultimately helped him become a true hero. Pegasus, the loyal flying horse, provided transportation and emotional support, proving sidekicks don't need dialogue to be impactful. Mulan, 1998. Mushu wasn't supposed to be Mulan's guardian. He was too small, too loud, too reckless. The ancestors wanted the Great Stone Dragon, but Mushu accidentally destroyed it and went himself. Eddie Murphy gave him swagger and insecurity. When Mulan's secret was revealed and Shang left her to die, Mushu stayed. He stopped trying to prove himself and started genuinely helping. When Mulan saved China, Mushu got his redemption not because of size or power, but because he'd earned it through loyalty. Tarzan, 1999. Turk the gorilla was Tarzan's best friend and partner in mischief. She treated him like family even though he didn't look like them. When Jane arrived, Turk was protective but eventually accepted her because Tarzan was happy. She showed that family isn't about appearance, it's about acceptance. Dinosaur, 2000. The Lemur clan adopted the main dinosaur character and provided comic relief in a film about extinction. They were loud, chaotic, and loving. They showed that found family matters just as much as biological family. Lilo and Stitch, 2002. Stitch wasn't helpful. He was destructive, violent, and designed for chaos. But Lilo saw past that, teaching him about Ohana. Family means nobody gets left behind. Stitch's transformation from weapon to family member showed that sidekicks can have complete redemption arcs. Sometimes the most broken characters become the most loyal. Brother Bear, 2003. Koda started as an annoying cub who wouldn't stop talking. But when Kenai realized he'd killed Koda's mother, their dynamic shifted. Koda's forgiveness showed maturity beyond his years. He proved that true friendship means forgiving the unforgivable. Home on the Range, 2004. Three cows, Grace, Maggie, and Mrs. Calloway, formed an ensemble sidekick team. They bickered constantly but pulled together when it mattered. They showed that teamwork means working through differences to achieve a common goal. Chicken Little, 2005. Fish Out of Water was a fish in a diving helmet who couldn't speak. He communicated through expressions and actions. Sometimes the best sidekicks are the ones who say nothing but show everything through their commitment and presence. Bolt, 2008. Mittens the cat saved Bolt from his delusions by showing him reality. He believed he had superpowers, but Mittens taught him he was just a dog. Her tough love helped him discover real heroism. Rhino the hamster was Bolt's biggest fan, believing in him even after learning the truth. His enthusiasm proved that belief in heroes matters even when they're flawed. The Princess and the Frog, 2009. Louis the alligator dreamed of playing jazz with humans, and Ray the firefly loved a star named Evangeline. Ray's death protecting his friends was one of Disney's most emotional sidekick moments. When he died and became a star next to Evangeline, it was heartbreaking and beautiful. He showed that love transcends everything, even death. Tangled, 2010. Pascal the chameleon was Rapunzel's only friend for 18 years. He couldn't speak, but his color changes communicated everything. He was protective and fiercely loyal. Maximus the horse was relentless in hunting Flynn, but eventually befriended him through mutual respect. During the climax, Maximus organized the rescue, showing leadership and strategic thinking. Wreck-It Ralph, 2012. Vanellope wasn't a traditional sidekick. She was a co-protagonist. But her relationship with Ralph defined the film. She was bullied and glitchy, but determined to race. Ralph helped her, and she helped him realize he didn't have to be a villain. They showed that the best friendships are partnerships where both people grow. Frozen, 2013. Olaf loved summer despite having no idea heat would kill him. When Anna was freezing, Olaf lit a fire to keep her warm, knowing it would melt him. Some people are worth melting for, transformed him from comic relief into the emotional heart of the film. Olaf understood love better than most characters. Big Hero 6, 2014. Baymax was designed to heal, programmed with over 10,000 medical procedures. When Hero lost his brother, Baymax filled the void with care. When Hero tried to turn him into a weapon for revenge, Baymax resisted. His sacrifice in the portal was devastating. "Are you satisfied with your care?" became one of Disney's most emotional lines. Zootopia, 2016. Flash the Sloth worked at the DMV and processed everything at glacial speed. When Judy needed information urgently, Flash took forever. When he finally laughed at a joke, it was in slow motion. Sometimes sidekicks only need one scene to become legendary. Moana, 2016. Maui was a demigod who'd lost his hook and his purpose. He was arrogant but broken. Moana needed him, but he needed her too. She reminded him why he became a hero. When he faced Te Kā, Moana saved him, showing heroism flows both ways. Hey Hey the Rooster was spectacularly stupid. He ate rocks and walked into the ocean. Disney made him dumber, and it worked. He never meant to help, but somehow he always did. Ralph Breaks the Internet, 2018. Knowsmore was a search engine character who auto-completed sentences, often hilariously wrong. He represented both the helpfulness and frustration of modern internet searches. He showed that even technology can be a sidekick. Raya and the Last Dragon, 2021. Sisu was the last dragon who believed in trust even after humanity betrayed dragons. She was goofy, optimistic, and powerful, but her real strength was her faith in people. When she was killed because of misplaced trust, it devastated audiences. Her resurrection proved her message of unity was right. Encanto, 2021. Casita wasn't just a house, it was a family member. The magic made it protective and playful. When the family's magic cracked, so did Casita. The house collapsed using its last strength to save Mirabel. The rebuilding was symbolic. The family came together not because of magic, but because they chose to. Strange World, 2022. Splat was a blob creature who bonded with Ethan and helped navigate an underground ecosystem. He communicated through sounds and actions, providing comic relief and genuine assistance. He showed that friendship can cross any boundary, even species. Wish, 2023. Star was Disney's return to silent sidekicks with maximum expressiveness. This magical being couldn't speak but communicated through actions, light, and pure joy. Star brought Asha's animal friends to life and represented the power of hope itself. The film celebrated Disney's legacy while creating something new. From 1937 to 2023, Disney sidekicks have proven that the best characters aren't always in the spotlight. They're the ones who hold the light so the hero can see the path forward. They're the voices that say, keep going when everything feels impossible. They're the friends who stay when everyone else leaves. These sidekicks taught us that you don't need to be the main character to change the story. You just need to show up, believe in someone, and refuse to let them face the darkness alone. Because the greatest stories aren't about heroes who do everything themselves. They're about heroes who had someone beside them who believed first. See you guys at our next story. Don't forget to like and subscribe.